Hold your breath. The Euros have gotten even more exciting as the Netherlands face Poland in the upcoming 2024 competition. Will the Netherlands prevail, or will Poland pull off a massive upset? Welcome back to the Football Pit. Before we begin, please support our channel by hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel to not miss any of the action. Poland versus Netherlands. The Stuttering Netherlands. The Netherlands, ranked 7th by FIFA, finished their qualifying group in second place with the spectacular France coming up first. The Netherlands didn't qualify from their Euro qualifying group convincingly. Their match against Northern Ireland didn't tell the story of the footballing nation that revolutionised football. We'll get to that in a minute. Northern Ireland, who were already not going to the 2024 Euros, couldn't muster a decent performance against the Netherlands, and that should have inspired a ruthless performance from the Netherlands. However, what they produced was pretty tame, and didn't truly give Netherlands fans the confidence that their team would produce anything spectacular in the main tournament against Poland on 16th June 2024, or any of the other teams in the group. However, that may not be a great indicator of what may come in the main tournament. The country's 2008 Euros saw a horrific qualifying performance from them. Poland versus Netherlands. Success and failure of the Netherlands. Before the 2008 Euro qualifiers, the Netherlands made a mess of their 2006 World Cup participation. The team qualified for that World Cup under the leadership of Marco van Basten, but they forgot how to play in their famous football style, and the match had more fouls than a proper game of football. For Van Basten, the 2008 Euro was his shot at managerial redemption, and it looked like he wasn't going to use his second chance well. Netherlands finished behind Romania in the group after scraping, and found themselves in the same group as defending World Cup champions, Italy, who ended their Euro dream in 2000. Their group also had the World Cup finalist, France, and the team that topped their qualifying group, Romania. It was supposed to be a horror show for the Netherlands, and the fact that one of their key players, Mark van Bommel, wasn't joining the squad didn't help at all. However, as we always say, it's the Euros, you can't predict what will happen. And even Netherlands fans didn't believe what happened next. The Netherlands faced World Cup champions Italy and surprisingly thrashed them 3-0. They finally had their revenge for Italy, dumping them out of the competition in Euro 2000. Within 30 minutes, Ruud van Nistelrooy and Wesley Sneijder punished the Italians with a goal each as they got on the end of Netherlands' beautiful display of counter-attacking football. It wasn't total football, but it was superb nonetheless. Then, in the 79th minute, the Netherlands scored their third goal against Italy, and they were buzzing. Up next was France, and the Netherlands were ready. They opened up the scoreline within 9 minutes and scored an additional goal later on in the match, before France halved their deficit. The Netherlands weren't discouraged, and scored 2 more goals to crush France 4-1. The Netherlands would then go on to beat Romania, who had tormented them during the qualifiers 2-0, and they achieved this while resting key players. Disbelief had turned to belief, and the buzzing question was, could the Netherlands go all the way? No, they didn't, and what happened was beyond unfortunate. Netherlands faced Russia in the quarterfinals, and it was Gus Hiddink who coached them in the 1998 World Cup that was coaching the Russians. For the Russians, it was a time for vengeance. In 1988, the Netherlands beat them to win their one and only Euro, and more of this later. Going into the match, the Netherlands got bad news. One of their players, defender Khalid Boulahrouz, suffered a tragedy. His wife was rushed to the hospital due to pregnancy complications a few days before the match. She gave birth to her baby prematurely, and sadly the baby didn't survive. Players and staff of the Dutch team are upset by the death of Anissa, the daughter of Khalid Boulahrouz, and his wife Sabia, who was born prematurely, the KNVB stated. The tragedy affected the players, and coach Van Basten gave his players time to deal with the event, and just when they needed a confidence boost, Arjen Robben got injured and was out. It was too much for the Netherlands squad to bear, and their performance against Russia hung in the balance. Boulahrouz chose to play against Russia, but it wasn't enough to raise the spirits of the Netherlands squad. The players that the Netherlands rested featured, so they put out a strong team against Russia. However, it was the Russians that started the match stronger and threatened early. By the 7th minute, Russia tested the Netherlands goalkeeper Edwin van der Sar, and the chances kept pouring in against the Netherlands. Guus Hiddink's plan to limit a mentally depleted Netherlands worked. The Netherlands couldn't get a sniff of Russia's goal, and all their attempts were half chances that weren't getting anywhere. Then Andrei Arshavin began to get closer and closer to scoring for Russia, but Van der Sar was up to the task. He was diving, stretching and parrying, but there was a limit to what he could do. Eventually, Russia scored after halftime and continued to badger Netherlands' goalkeeper. The Netherlands still couldn't get any joy against Russia, and were just passengers in the match. The few chances they had, they wasted and still found it difficult to stop Russia. It was hopeless, and just as it seemed, the Netherlands would be crashing out of the competition. Then, by what seemed like a miracle, the Netherlands scored the most bizarre equalisers to take the match to extra time. Unfortunately, Netherlands couldn't build on the equaliser, and Russia clinched the win. This would be the last time the Netherlands would get into the quarter-finals. The next set of Euros they competed in was a complete bust. Would this be the Euros where the Netherlands would make amends? What do you think? Poland versus Netherlands. Poland. Like the Netherlands, Poland has had a mixed presence in the Euro, but they aren't as successful as the Netherlands. After a quiet period of qualification for international football in the 80s, the Netherlands qualified for the 1988 Euro tournament. They were at the peak of their total football and dominated their opponents, except the Soviet Union, to the final. Then they met the Soviet Union in the finals, and the odds were in the Soviets' favour. They didn't expect that the Netherlands would tweak their game. The Netherlands did, and caught the Soviet Union by surprise, by playing one of the most devastating counter-attacking football games. They had met before in the group stages, and the Netherlands lost to the Soviets. We played well in the first half, and the Soviets let us take the game to them, but then in the second half they killed us off with their counter-attacks. So we came into the final knowing that this time we had to start more cautiously, said Rinus Michels, who was named Coach of the Century by FIFA, and then, in 2019, the greatest coach in the history of football by France Football. This coach was the originator of total football, and he learnt from when they played the Soviet Union in the group to defeat them when it mattered most. That 1988 trophy would be the only trophy Netherlands would win, and since then, they haven't had the best of times in the tournament. At least the Netherlands won the Euro and have had about 10 appearances in the competition, with the 11th appearance being the upcoming 2024 one. Poland, on the other hand, has a poor Euro history. Their first qualification for the Euro came after 48 years, and it was surprising considering they qualified for 5 FIFA World Cups and won third place in 2 of them. Poland, who are 28th in FIFA ranking, qualified for their first Euro in 2008. They had a great time in the qualifiers as they finished their group in first place, despite sharing the group with giants Portugal. Unfortunately, Poland used all their juice in the qualifying stages. The way they performed in the main tournament was way below people's expectations. Did you know they only had 1 point from 3 matches? I know, pretty poor, right? Germany beat them in their first match 2-0, and you wouldn't believe who scored. It was Polish-born German striker Lukas Podolski who scored the 2 goals. The single point they had came from their second game against Austria, and they would have won if not for the controversial penalty awarded to Austria. Whatever hope they had in that competition, Croatia buried it when they defeated Poland. Luckily, Poland didn't have to wait too long before trying to make amends. They automatically qualified for the 2012 Euro due to being one of the hosts of that Euro tournament, and they had the talent that could push them to do better than they did in the previous competition. They had Jakub Błaszczykowski, Robert Lewandowski, and Łukasz Piszczek, who had made names for themselves in their respective clubs. Unfortunately, these talents couldn't make a difference for Poland, as they drew twice and lost once. Is it 3rd time's the charm for Poland? Well, let's wait and see. When Poland qualified for the 2016 Euro, not much was expected from them. After all, they had only proven to be food for the other teams. In 2016, Poland went to the Euro with a new coach, Adam Nawałka. Their qualification was smooth, and by the time the main competition was underway, they had changed their approach to the game. Nawałka set up his team to defend, but he couldn't fix the problem of lapses in concentration that his team suffered from. Still, they were resolute and qualified from their group behind Germany. In the round of 16, Poland beat Switzerland on penalties, but lost against Portugal in the quarterfinals. Poland qualified for the 2020 Euro, But this time, their qualification journey was less than inspiring. Even their performance in the Euro was unfortunate, but it was expected considering they shared the group with Sweden and Spain. Slovakia was the last nation in the group, and they seemed like easy pickings until Poland even lost to them. Then, in what would be one of the tournament's greatest shocks, Poland held Spain to a draw, and then there was hope. All they had to do was win against Sweden to stand the chance of qualifying. Poland put up a great fight, but ultimately lost to Sweden in a 3-2 defeat. Poland has now secured an appearance for the upcoming 2024 Euro, and they are going to be playing against the Netherlands. Can Poland progress past the group stage and beat their best result of a quarter-finals finish, or will this be another horror show for them? Let us know what you think in the comments. Poland versus Netherlands. Who will come out on top? Poland and the Netherlands have regularly played against each other. They have both been in the same qualifying groups for the Euro, and have also played against each other in the qualifiers for the World Cup and the UEFA Nations League. In all, they have played against each other 18 times across all competitions and friendlies, with the Netherlands winning 9 of those ties. Some of the most recent defeats have come in the UEFA Nations League, and this match against the two of them could be Poland's opportunity to get revenge for the humiliation they have suffered at the hands of the Netherlands. Poland versus Netherlands. Players to watch. Robert Lewandowski, who is also their captain. Lewandowski has 29 goal contributions as of the time of this recording. Just as Poland relies on Lewandowski for goals and leadership, Netherlands rely on defender Virgil van Dijk for his ability to marshal the defence. If the Netherlands are going to beat Poland, they have to be wary of Lewandowski and keep him quiet. Piotr Zielinski is another player who could torment the Netherlands. He is an attacking midfielder and has 7 goal contributions in 35 appearances. The Netherlands also have their own attacking threat, 21-year-old attacking midfield sensation Xavi Simons, who has 20 goal contributions in 30 appearances in 23-24 season, on loan from PSG to RB Leipzig, has been a revelation for the 23-24 season. If he replicates his form for Leipzig for his national team, Poland will have their hands full. The match between these two will be simply electric. The Gelsenkirchen Stadium crowd won't know what hit them if these two teams are to unleash their best football talents on the pitch. Gelsenkirchen Stadium and City. Speaking of the Gelsenkirchen Stadium, it was the first stadium in Germany, hosted 4 group matches and the quarter-final between Portugal and England in the 2006 World Cup. It was also the venue of the infamous 2004 Champions League final between FC Porto and AS Monaco. Now the stadium and Gelsenkirchen City would be part of the venues for the Euro, and we will tell you this. This city, which is the 25th most populous city in Germany, is buzzing with excitement for the upcoming match between Poland and the Netherlands, among other fixtures. If you want to soak in the full experience of the city, you could visit its zoo, the Zoom Erlebniswelt, or simply enjoy a hike in the Halde Rheinelbe. But the place to be, in my opinion, would be the stadium. Poland versus Netherlands will be an exciting match as the two teams have a point to prove. But who do you think would want to win the most? Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more.